I guess the one facing the parking lot, the post office, yeah.
Oh, that'd be a good spot.
Yeah.
Then the fire department said something about the carnival building, possibly.
That would be nice.
Ready?
the carnival.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what.
All right, got a little after 4, so we'll go and get the November 13th, 2023 town council meeting started. And beginning of the first order of business would be the invocation and the pledge.
Will you join me in prayer? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. And as we celebrated Veterans Day, we continue to thank and remember all of those who have served in the military. And Father, as the holidays fast approach, we just ask that we can all come together with our family, friends, and loved ones and continue to celebrate and be thankful for everything that we have. And Father, as always, we pray for a productive and enjoyable meeting this evening. All these things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Terry, you want to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We should have received a copy of the minutes from October 10th.
I move to approve the October 10th, 2023 minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. And Jay, you have a municipal works proclamation.
Yep, so, well, really every month, but November is a month where we showcase and honor all our municipalities throughout the state of Maryland. So, of course, we are one of them, so I do have a proclamation. The Commissioners of Leonardtown proclaim November to be Municipal Government Works Month. Whereas the town of Leonardtown was established in 1708, and whereas Maryland is home to 157 other municipalities. And whereas municipal government represents the most responsive level of government, allowing citizens to have direct access to elected officials. And whereas in an effort to educate citizens about municipal government and the importance of their participation, the town of Leonardtown is proud to promote municipal government awareness. And whereas municipalities have enhanced the quality of life for their respective residents, maintaining natural and historic sites and structures and helping to make Maryland a great place to live, work, play, and explore. Now therefore, let it be proclaimed that the Commissioners of Leonardtown hereby unite with the Maryland Municipal League in declaring November 2023 to be Municipal Government Works Month in Leonardtown. Signed this date, Mayor Dan Burris and the Town Council. Thank you.
Thank you. And I've got a proclamation for former Mayor J. Harry Chip Norris, who passed away not long ago. It says, the Town of Leonardtown Proclamation. Whereas we express profound sorrow of the passing of the Honorable J. Harry Chip Norris III, former mayor from 1978 to 81, 1995 to 2012 of the Town of Leonardtown, and also served as council member from 71 to 78. And whereas Chip Norris was for many years leader in public life and distinguished himself for his character and devotion to the interest and revitalization of the town of Leonardtown, and won for himself the respect and affection of the community for his service, not only as a private citizen, but as a public servant. And whereas his integrity, ability, and devotion to the town, its residents, businesses, and family enabled him to make substantial and valuable contributions to his beloved Leonardtown. His service to the town includes many worthwhile and lasting accomplishments, too numerous to name individually, and reflects well upon the town to this present day that he led for so many years. And whereas Mayor Chip Norris grew inspiration for public service from his father, J. Harry Norris Jr., who served on the town council from 1952 to 56, and his mother-in-law, Becky Prophet, who served on the town council from 88 to 04. And he had the full support from his loving wife, Jeanette Norris, who served as St. Mary's County Treasurer from 94 to 2014, and his children, Jay Norris IV, Kristen Caton, and Kelly Lovelace, who all participated in various campaigns throughout the years assisting their dad. And now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of Leonardtown, let it be resolved that we appreciate and feel the deep loss the family has experienced. The Commissioners and Leonardtown community share in their sorrow and respectfully honor the memory, deeds, and accomplishments of an especially loved and forever remembered mayor, J. Harry Chip Norris III. Signed this date, November 13, Mayor and Town Council. Very nice. Okay, let's move on here to Treasurer's Report. Angie.
Thank you very much. Let's see, I think the transfer to the checking account for $100,000 in October. We're a third of the way through FY '24. It's going so fast. Grant funds that we received in October were $180,000. We just received a new truck for the wastewater treatment plant that arrived, and the wastewater treatment plant expansion payments have been going out pretty regularly. So we've been using the CDA money that's been coming in for that. And then the last thing is we did get an audit extension through December 31st. And Carl will be here the rest of this week, starting tomorrow through Friday, to finish that up. If you have any questions for me?
Comments, questions? No? Thank you very much. I would just like to remind anybody that shows up, just make sure you sign up in the back, please. Thank you. And Planning Department, Mike.
Council members, we do not have, the planning commission does not have a meeting for November. We do have one scheduled for December 18th, which is going to be pretty full. So
Okay.
we're looking forward to getting some things done before the end of the year.
Any comments, questions for Mike? Okay, thank you, Mike. And police report, Corporal Roszell. See, we've all got a copy of the report. Anything you would like to add?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. And this weekend, you said wasn't any problems with?
No issues this weekend.
Very good.
Pretty smooth.
Yep.
Nice.
Any other comments, questions?
Just say thank you again. You all do a great job for all the events, so I appreciate it.
138 vehicle stops last month, so people just remember they're out there. Thank you. And we'll move on to Town Administrator, Laschelle McKay.
It's a little early for the public hearing, so I'll go ahead and take the second item on my agenda, which is the Downtown Strategic Plan Phase 4 contract for Mahan Rykiel Associates. The next phase of the Downtown and Waterfront Strategic Plan encompasses completing several sections of the comprehensive plan that is due for completion early 2025, as well as a more in-depth analysis of expanding parking facilities, Main Street Program startup assistance, Fenwick Lawn, and West Side coordination, and finally, the implementation of the RFI for the Leonardtown Wharf Food Hall. Staff submitted another grant to DHCD to cover some of these expenses as we've done in the past, but we did not receive the grant this year. However, we had budgeted $50,000 for continuation of the downtown plan and the comprehensive plan in our budget this year, so we can still cover this portion of the contract. Additionally, we received $25,000 instead of the $10,000 that we budgeted for the Main Street program, and so some of that can also go toward this. We are making significant progress on these important fronts, and it's imperative that we continue to be proactive and not reactive in planning these areas of the town. And I do have a meeting, and the consultants are in town with the Pleasance Corporation tomorrow, so we're starting to look at their plan, and as soon as they finalize the plats in the courts for the land swaps, then we'll be able to be bringing that project forward to get started. So we're excited to have that meeting tomorrow.
Yep, looking forward to it.
So it has to go to court? The land swaps have to go to court?
It's been there's one parcel that was in dispute from back in the previous ownership. And so as soon as that's resolved, it's all ready to go to recordation. The state's
Okay.
approved it and everything, so we're just
Okay.
waiting for that to be settled.
And they're hoping to have that done yesterday, but it
I
still
don't know,
didn't.
supposedly last week, but
So,
still waiting.
yeah.
Awesome.
Go ahead. Any other
Any
questions?
comments, concerns, thoughts? Anyone care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. I move to award the Phase 4 Downtown Strategic Plan contract to Mahan, Rykiel Associates, Inc. in the amount of $40,000.
I'll second.
Motion and second, further discussion. Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excited to get that going.
If you want to go ahead, I can give my
I was
staff
gonna say,
report
why
on
don't
the
you give a
project.
background?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the public hearing at 4:15 is for case 71-21, Leonardtown Cottages, proposed infill and redevelopment district overlay. And just to give you some background, the property is owned by Laurel Grove Properties LLC. The property address is 22800 Lawrence Avenue. The current zoning is residential multifamily. Town Council referred the project to the Planning Commission at their October 10th, 2023 meeting. The Planning Commission, after holding a public meeting on October 16th, 2023, sent a favorable recommendation to the Town Council. A public hearing is scheduled for this afternoon at 4:15. A notice was published October 19th in the County Times and on the town website. Notices for both the Planning Commission meeting of October 16th and the public hearing for today were sent by registered mail to 64 property owners living within 300 feet of the proposed project. The owner is requesting a planned infill and redevelopment district overlay, or a PIRD, and they want concept approval for the property located on Lawrence Avenue. The concept approval also consists of a minor subdivision to divide the existing .59 acre property into 2 lots. The property in 2021 had an existing 9,990 square foot 12-unit apartment building with gravel and asphalt area for parking. The property was issued a demolition permit in August of 2021 to remove the dilapidated building. Per the town municipal code, the planned infill and redevelopment district is to encourage the redevelopment of deteriorated sites while preserving the character of the surrounding neighborhood. The proposed PIRD request consists of 8 single-family dwelling units, 4 proposed on Lot 1 and 4 on Lot 2, with a base unit footprint of 640 square feet up to 1,080 square feet, and they're all 2 stories proposed dwellings. The owner is requesting a reduction of the rear building restriction line from 30 feet as required in multifamily to 15 foot in the rear for just on Lot 2. The rest of all the parcels meet all the setback requirements. The maximum density requirements for property in residential multifamily is 10 dwelling units per acre, or 4,506 square foot per unit. The building that was demolished consisted of 12 units. The previous density based on the demolished building was 2,141 square foot per unit. With the requested density of these 8 units would be 3,212 square foot per unit. So they still would not meet the 4,356 in the residential multifamily zoning, but with the PIRD, you can relax that regulation, and it would still be more area than what they had with the 12 apartments, which they would have been allowed to replace. For Chapter 155-55, the proposed project is required to have 2 parking spaces per unit, and they have met that. The property currently has 12 EDUs. 8 are required for this proposed project, and the 4 would be held inactive for future use on the project. The proposed project must meet the Stormwater Management Town Municipal Code for redevelopment standards. The design will be part of the final site plan process. And additionally, after the Planning and Zoning Commission, and also related to some questions from neighbors, the developer has agreed to address water drainage issues that currently exist with the neighboring townhome properties. I also included in your packet the guidelines for the PIRD, which the Planning Commission reviewed when sending you the favorable recommendation, and that is what we have to look for to make sure before we issue the PIRD zoning designation. Prior to the October P&Z meeting, 4 neighbors sent questions and concerns, and or met with staff. Letters of response were sent to all 4 residents, and we did include those in your packet so that you could read through the questions and what the staff had answered. And a lot of that was covered also in your minutes from the Planning Commission meeting, which those were included in your package as well. Following the close of the public hearing, the council may approve with conditions, delay, or deny the PIRD designation and concept plan for the cottages of Leonardtown. So we have with us today owners Jeff Buckler and John O'Connell. Once we open the public hearing, they're going to give you a brief presentation, and then we'll have time for questions and then comment from the public as well. And we have not received any additional comments since the Planning Commission.
Okay. It is a little after 4:15, so I'd entertain a motion to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing.
All right, I move to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing.
I'll second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Jeff, would you like to do a little presentation?
So when I purchased the property in 2018, it was fully leased with 12 apartments, 11 tenants, and the one was so-called an office that Mr. Longer had in the building. Within the first 30 days, I lost 2 tenants, criminal tenants. With the first 90 days, I lost 4 tenants. Give me some further where I could go and inspect the building. The building had major electrical issues. It had 12 meters, and they were inside, which would never meet building code today. It just, to me, our intention maybe was to rebuild the building, and then when we started, I thought I would put a 12-unit apartment building back in its place. We helped with rehousing the remaining tenants. I got the building vacant, started with my architect, designed a 12-apartment building with a parking garage. We tried to accommodate the bank that's next door, adding some of the historical architecturals to it to try to get it to blend in with Leonardtown. When it was done, I really liked the building. I still have the building, not saying I won't build the building somewhere, but it was like a big elephant that would be sitting on the corner in Leonardtown. It just didn't look like Leonardtown. Nowhere near did it look like my neighbors. So I kind of went back to the drawing board to where, with my architects and engineers, coming up with something which is affordable living. I own a few other smaller homes that gives people the opportunity to be able to rent something that's affordable, not so much saying it's a 3,000 or 4,000 square foot home. We came up with these designs. We also have a couple other designs that's not on this plan, but with this best bang for your buck, I can't get 12 of them on my property. I beat that back and forth because I talked to the mayor. You know, I can't use all my EDUs. It was come to then I could shelf some of my EDUs, which is somewhere around $30,000 to $35,000 EDU. I'll be shelving like $140,000 worth of EDUs. But I just didn't want to keep going with that big building. So we started shuffling this around, these designs. My architect drew the homes as I gave them a sketch. I also worked with my engineer to try to position these. And we seemed to think that it worked better because we could continue the easement through the property to come out on Church Street. I think on the parking garage, we was going to take it out onto the other street. I like the idea of bringing it out on Church Street because we're not in the direct line of the fire department using Lawrence Avenue. So I thought that, in my mind, I thought bringing the 18-foot easement through and dumping the traffic onto the church just made sense to me. We kept working on the plan, and we kind of got this to fit in there like this. It's very tight, but it works. I just think what we have here is something that meets and looks just like my neighbor. Instead of a great big building that's overwhelming to meet the parking spots, things of that nature. It just, when we designed the homes, I wanted the homes, if you go along with Lawrence Avenue, a lot of the homes had porches. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't trying to to squeeze in as much living square footage. I wanted the ability for someone to be able to sit outside on a porch. All 4 of these designs have porches on the front, which allows the individuals to maybe sit outside and enjoy the outside more so than just being confined to like all living inside quarters. These homes do meet what I think my neighbors look like. With that, I look better to my neighbors, I think.
Do you want to go through the PowerPoint or?
So this is an overview of the project, and you can see the 8 homes. That green square there in front is where the existing townhomes are currently. So we have an easement going around the townhomes and through to Church Street. So 6 of the 8 units which use that drive aisle, and the other 2 come out on Lawrence and Church themselves.
I do own that easement, and I do have the deed with me.
Here you can see just a concept plan of the homes, the porches. Everyone has their own individual space and their own porch.
Like the deed plan,
I think this is one right here. So here also we have a plan, the plan to the right, where it shows some of the landscape plans that we have for the project, and we plan to run a buffer along the back side of the 4 units that are to the most right of the picture that we back up to, and we have some natural buffer there now, which is in the pictures here in the document. The rest we'll be adding to try to give ourselves a buffer from this project to the existing neighborhood behind us.
Also, working with my engineers, I take a lot of water myself from Mrs. Mattingly's property. So that runs across mine and maybe so to the townhome. In this project, we will be designing, and it's pretty much designed, that we take that water and treat that water. We will be stopping any water that's coming across the project that could possibly get to the town. Right now, there's nothing. There's nothing at all that could stop that. Runs freely across mine to the town. With the stormwater management, we do have the plan that takes the water back, and we will be treating it from there.
But, and then to add also, those conditions existed when the property was purchased, so it's nothing that's been created by the demolition of the building. That was an existing condition from the previous owner.
I don't want to develop something and have my own stuff wash it. That's, stormwater management is very important, and I think that we're addressing it, kind of.
Sure. So maybe could you go back to the site plan? And maybe could you just go and point to where the easement is today and then what it's going to be, so that kind of orient people a little bit?
So this is the existing site plan. So there's a gravel drive here and an easement. There's a right-of-way egress here for these townhomes to use to get to the rear of their property. So we are proposing to leave that easement in place, and we are going to take that easement through to Church. And this is the buffer area I was speaking of earlier. Or anything
Thank you.
else?
No.
And I do believe behind the townhomes, I do believe it's 39 feet on one end behind the townhomes, 36 feet on the other end, which allows them adequate parking behind their homes. I think the ordinance of town is, I think, a 9 by 18 parking spot. So they do have room to park behind their homes as it is.
And then you have the different models as well.
This is the Lily, which is proposed on the 4 units, and where the units on the back here, lot 2. And there's the floor plan. And you have the copy, the floor plan for that.
These are all 2-bedroom, correct?
No, some is three,
Some are 3, okay.
yes.
The rows. And I believe this is one of the 3 bedrooms. And the daisy.
I think in drawing these and coming up with these plans, we was trying to think about something that's affordable for someone that's graduating college. John and I also have other properties that we have an agent that gets us tenants off of Pax River. We've had a few pilots. They're only here for a few years. So they're not looking for a big 3,500, 400 square foot house. Something of this fits these guys well. They can move along, they can move out after, after they're done. Not that I have anything, and maybe, but I do want to say, I do know that the hospital, I have nothing, but I do know the hospital is always looking for something for traveling doctors and nurses. If this plan is to be approved and developed, I will be reaching out to MedStar to see if that is something that they would be interested into as far as leasing or renting.
Actually, Laschelle and I met with the new director at the hospital, and I just kind of brought it up. Is this something that you'd be interested in? She was interested in talking to you.
Good.
Yeah. Because they've got so many people coming and going.
We could rent them today.
Yeah.
And your intention is to keep ownership and to rent
Keep
them?
ownership, yes.
And as far as the maintenance of the property?
Dennison does our maintenance on our property. I will say the reasoning, and Ms. Pennick is here from West Banco. I do apologize. The reasoning for doing this in 2 lots is I do not want to give this to one financial institution. Sorry. Sorry about that.
But
So-
getting back to Lachelle's question about maintenance, like for grass removal and stuff, you've got one person that's going to be doing all 8 homes.
Uniform?
Dennison is who currently does all of our
Yeah.
mowing and
It's
mulching.
not up to the individual owner to.
No. That is all. Now, what we will be, each home will have its own water meter and things like that.
Sure.
So that they can, not as in one building where I would be limited to one huge meter.
Right.
Want each individual to have their own meter for water and sewer and trash.
But we want the maintenance, the general maintenance of the lawns and landscaping would be done at the same time. That way they're all uniform and gives a nice presentation.
Okay.
This makes way more sense now that I see because when I first saw it, the 8 units, I went over and walked the property and I was like, I don't know how you're gonna be 8 units on there.
It's very, very tight.
But now that I
doesn't
see
mean
it
all
along the back, it makes a little more sense. 4 units on that lot and then 4 across the back makes a lot more sense.
Isn't there a fence along that as well?
In the back? In the
In the
A
back.
portion of it is a fence. It's got a lot of stuff growing up through it.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Mrs. Madden.
If that's what threw me off.
Let me ask, what type of lease are you looking to offer? 6 months, 12 months, month to month for the,
I really would like to have 2 years minimum.
okay.
Okay, before we open up to the public, any other comments from the council?
I think the one thing you already answered, talking about maintenance, so you're going to do like the initial landscaping and
We
then,
will do the landscape, well, Dennison themselves will, we contracted them and they will do the plantings, the seedings, the sod and that type of stuff. But then we will sign into a contract with them on all of our properties that they maintain, they mulch twice a year.
Okay.
They spray, and they tend to their trees if they die or so say, depending.
okay, that answers
And
that.
they do the
Okay.
mowing and things like that.
All right,
Yes.
perfect, thank you.
Collison is doing our snow removal in Leonardtown now. So I would be offering the snow removal to my tenants. I just don't want any issues with the snow, but Collison does our snow removal now in Leonardtown.
Want to put it back on the site plan maybe while we're talking?
Now you said that you'd originally had approval for a 12-unit
I didn't
apartment?
have approval, but that was my design.
Okay,
I had the 12 EDUs, I wanted to
right,
maximize, you know, and currently I only have 8 units,
right.
so I'm
So-
losing a lot of rent roll.
So was that like a 3-story? You said it was a massive building. Was it a 3-story building? How
It
big
was a
was it?
parking garage that we was burying like most of the way in the ground, leaving some light area around it to get
Okay.
natural light into the parking garage. But then it was 2 stories above that.
And 2 stories above it.
12 units is what was in the one he toured.
Right, right.
And I was gonna do 6 units on the floor.
Okay.
Um,
But that would have taken up that entire lot, that building, I guess?
No, I would have been probably less than the original footprint of the,
Oh,
so, but it's just a big elephant just sitting there on the corner, and I was like, I can't have this. This is not Leonardtown. I got more respect for Leonardtown than to just try to jam a big building in here because I have 12 EDUs. It doesn't. Hopefully I'll be able to use the EDUs later, maybe possibly sell them. I don't know. Not really. I just don't want that huge building.
sure.
I think one of the other things too, if there was an issue with fire or something, I lose all my apartments. If an emergency like that was to happen, individual homes, God forbid this was to happen, I would lose one dwelling and I wouldn't have to evacuate 12 families. And it just, I'm not really into these big buildings. I'm just not a safe.
Managing homes is one thing, managing a large building is another thing altogether.
Laschelle, does the new impact fee, this is probably a silly question, the new impact fee that we just passed, will that be for each of the properties?
He already has all the EDUs.
All the EDUs, so
Yeah,
he doesn't have
need
to-
He wouldn't have an impact fee because it's
Okay.
already, it wasn't,
Already
he had
in the plan.
existing.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then these are the sizes of the homes, correct?
Yes.
I will tell you, I have a visiting nurse that's running one of my apartments, and there's definitely a need for that, but they do need furnished. You know, she showed up with a suitcase. So I don't know if that's something that you're gonna be looking at, would be furnished units.
Well, my intentions is if I could get full and, we'll have to see, but that's who I really like to target. I don't think it's, and I don't know, I can't speak for MedStar, but I don't know if they pay for these houses for these doctors or not, but my understanding is they have some in Leonard's Grand or something like that. And I think the rent roll over there would be a whole lot more than what I'd be asking here.
Yeah, I don't know if they pay for them, but I know they pay a premium for having the nurse or the doctor here. They're making a lot more money, so they can afford that.
And actually, MedStar built the quad house right on Doctor's Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
And that has 4 units, which she said they use all the time.
Right.
So under the current zoning, without the PIRD, what would they be allowed to do?
He could replace the 12-unit building.
Okay.
Without, any exceptions. And he could actually meet all the setbacks except that one small rear setback. He could not meet that one
Okay.
with the multifamily zoning.
So like backing up to the Mattingly and
Yeah.
the
So
rear
for
being,
clarity purposes, this is the line back here with their asking for the reduction from
Gotcha.
30 foot to 15 foot.
okay,
And then this is the easement that's already recorded here, okay? And it's for ingress, egress for the townhome close. And then this shaded area here represents the existing townhomes.
gotcha. So it was they're looking for the BRLs to be pushed.
Just that one small one.
Slight
They meet
for the
everything
PIRD
else.
is really.
Just for that one area. They
Got
meet
it.
the side and the rear on the rest of them. And then the other, really, if he wanted to build another apartment building, the density, he would still be able to do the 12 units. But per the code today, it's 10 units per acre. So with 8 units, he would be a little bit more than that because he's got 0.6 acres.
Gotcha.
So the PIRD also would be relaxing that if he didn't have already the 12-unit building.
Gotcha. Okay. Just wanted to make sure what.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go and open it up to the public. If you do want to say something, just stand up and then give us your name and address.
Good afternoon, Mayor. John Parker. I live at 22720 Lawrence, so the other end of Neartown. I guess, the question at hand is the specific property, but I think any discussion also warrants kind of a broader spectrum look by the mayor and council. When you look in the immediate Leonardtown area, there's a lot of high-density housing, from the square out south on Fenwick on 5, you go down by the wharf, everything between Washington and Lawrence Street. There's a tremendous amount of high-density housing. And some of y'all know me, some of you don't. I came down here a couple of years ago and purchased a business and bought a house in Lawrence. And part of that decision was because we wanted to be part of Leonardtown, part of the community, part of the revitalization. And in speaking about revitalization and urban planning and all those kinds of things, walkability really becomes a focus for most places. And I think the lack of homes in the immediate area really hinders the revitalization of Leonardtown. Home ownership, people who take pride in their homes, in their neighborhoods, in their community, are what drive a place like Leonardtown and what's going to contribute to really growing and developing downtown Leonardtown, like I think most of you all want to see happen. So again, not to pick on the people present today, you just happen to be the people here today. I think that the broader issue moving forward is what are the goals of the council and the mayor, and do you really think that these kinds of projects, maybe making some small exceptions here or small exceptions there, in and of themselves are a big concession, but bit by bit, they work, I think, counterintuitive to a lot of the goals that y'all have. Speaking as a resident of Lawrence Street, I can also tell you that the rentals, you can talk about pilots from PACS and you can talk about visiting nurses. The rentals on Lawrence don't draw those kinds of people for the most part. Police activity, even across the street, directly across the street from me, is, the sheriff's been there half a dozen times in the last year. Twice I've been approached at my business and asked to see security footage and roll back tapes for criminal activity. One of them was a hit and run where one of the neighbors, ran into somebody's car and made off, left the scene. So I don't think that thinking that all of these maybe higher end tenants are really the target market, especially when you talk about affordable rental units. Those are just two different conversations. So I would just encourage the the council to be very cautious about all of this.
Okay, I mean, just one comment there. I mean, they're putting in 8 units, they could put in 12 units. So, I mean, we are looking at that side.
I understand that,
Your name also.
I'm Christy Parker,
Okay.
I'm Secretary of the LBA, I'm John's wife. I also live at 22720 Lawrence Avenue. I understand that there could be 12 units put into that space and it's being, they're considering 8. What I do also know is that Lawrence Avenue is considered the back street. And it still, to this day, is considered the back street. And it's known in the town, around by everyone, as not being the desirable street. And when you go back there, it's not desirable back over past Lawrence. And I want to see that change. I want Lawrence Avenue and the whole town of Leonardtown to be the desirable place. I don't want any avenue or any street or any housing in this town to be considered not desirable, and that's not the goal. I want the goal to be everywhere in this town, to be where everybody wants to be, and there not to be a place for people to avoid.
We don't disagree with that, so.
Okay. Mary Swirls, 22790 Lawrence Avenue. Okay, my own concern is the houses that's behind where I live. You're talking about tight. It will be tight. The people who be in those houses, sitting on their front porches, will be looking into my backyard, into my house. And for me to get in and out, now I have to go out to Church Street to come in and then go out on Lawrence. I basically feel as though environmental greenery, like trees and grass, is very important. Concrete, asphalt, to me, is crazy. When I wake up, I can hear the birds, I can see animals, but when you take all that away, then there's nothing left but concrete and asphalt. Then when you do the construction, what do I have to go through? Okay? You're talking about putting in an 8-inch water main. That's gonna cut me out where I can't get in and out of my house. Then you're gonna put in a sewer line, one that the manhole cover will be in behind my house. Have you ever lived around a manhole? Have any of you lived around a manhole? Have any of you been inside of a manhole? No. Well, I have, and it's not that great. Then if they have kids, where are the children gonna play? They're gonna be running all over the place. Like right now, we got kids all up and down the streets. You know, you gotta blow your horn, you gotta stop, you gotta look. I prefer for the area behind my house, which is lot 2, to stay like it is. Let the trees grow. Help climate change. That's where I look at it, because you're talking about affordable housing. There's no such thing as affordable housing, okay? If you do affordable housing, you're looking at very poor structure, very poor materials. And now, my next question is, who's gonna put in the water and sewer lines? And if you do, what are they gonna be constructed of? The blueprints I got never said anything about what the water lines are gonna be made out of. There's gonna be ductile iron, there's gonna be PVC, what is it gonna be? You know,
What are
I mean, I didn't
That
all of
comes,
that.
but that comes in the next phase. That's when
Yeah.
the engineering gets done in the next
Okay,
phase.
so, and the people who own this is gonna pay for all of this?
Yes, ma'am. It's all private. Mhm.
They're gonna pay for all this?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So my thing of it is, let nature be the first thing you think about. So in that way, we can wake up in the morning and breathe. That way, I can look out my backyard, my back door, and see trees instead of seeing somebody's face, somebody's house, or somebody's kid in the way. That's the way I look at it. To me, you're making it tight. You're putting more traffic out there. Lawrence Avenue is gonna be full of cars, and we don't need no more of that. I like nature, and the majority of my neighbors, I do believe, like nature. And nothing like looking at a tree. I know a lot of you wake up in the morning, you'll see trees, but you're gonna take all our trees away. So we won't have nothing to look at. That's how I feel about it. I am totally against lot 2. Now, what you do on the corner, is fine with me, but I'm against lot 2.
Thank you.
My name is Xavier Emerson. I'm 22796 Lawrence Avenue. I believe that's lot 4 on the townhouses. I very much agreed with everything Ms. Mary has just said. I have 2 11-year-olds that are on that street. That street is already dangerous enough. That stop sign, people go through it all the time. You're adding more houses. People are not going to stop. Somebody's going to get hit. My other problem, and this isn't the site plan I have one where there are 4 houses. Do we have that picture?
About lot 2?
Yeah. So from what I've discussed with my neighbors and everything, lot 1, nobody has an issue with. You can do whatever you want with lot 1. Lot 2 is where everybody, well, especially those townhouses, have an issue. There's a plan that has 4 houses, not 8 on lot 2. That's the plan I have. My problem is house number 3 is directly behind my house. Like literally house to house, which means driveway to driveway, which means if there's kids, somebody's going to back up and go into somebody else's yard, somebody's going to run over somebody, they're going to have an issue. The privacy factor. Again, I have 2 11-year-olds who stay with me. I don't need people seen into my house, and I don't need to be seen in their house. All the other houses have the cottages not directly where the townhouses are, except for house number 3, and that's the one that is affecting me. Again, I like the trees. I like the quiet. I like the calmness of this town. I've been here for a year and a half now. First house I ever bought was here. Leonardtown became my home immediately. I loved it here. I have loved everything in this town. I love walking everything. I like taking my kids to the work. I like doing all of these fun activities. I feel with lot 2, not lot 1. Nobody has an issue with lot 1. I feel with lot 2 and the tightness and the spacing factor and the privacy factors that is going to become an issue in the future. I feel like somebody is going to have some complaint or some police officer or something in that area. There's too many unknowns. There are too many questionable situations that can happen, especially with those 4 houses on lot 2, especially with privacy. So that is, we have a lot of like little bunnies and foxes and everything else that are in our neighborhood. Oh my goodness, so much. I have one that literally lives under my car. I have to check every morning to make sure that he is not under my car because he's right there. Especially as it's getting colder. So we got all these animals. So we got to keep in mind of where the animals are going to go. And if they're not going to be here, where are they going to go? We would love to keep them there. My kids love the rabbits. They like chasing the rabbits. They think it's the greatest thing. My dog thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. But between the privacy and when I back out, I already have to back out from my driveway, which basically is a 1 spot. So they get 2 spots, I got 1 spot. But I have a 1 spot, I back straight out because I have to get around the other fence. And then I have to pretty much be in their yard to get out of my driveway. So I don't want to do that. And I don't want somebody backing into my driveway and also possibly hitting my car, possibly hitting my children. I don't want that. Lot 1, fine. Nobody seems to have an issue with lot 1. Lot 2 is where the concern is, and I don't know if we can separate those 2 and you can approve one and not the other. I don't know how that works, but I do know that lot 2, especially with the townhouse peoples, is the concern, and we would like that addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Okay, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing and open the regular meeting.
So-
All right, go ahead.
So moved.
Chris.
Chris.
Do we have
I'll
a second?
second.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Okay, if I could take just for a second with the Parker's concerns, I mean, West Fenwick is we just approved a contract for the next phase of our downtown plan. That is very important to the future of the town. All of our planning for the last 10 or 15 years has been focused around that and the transition to Tudor Hall, and that area is improved. So it is totally a priority with this council. So I think you're right on target with that, so. I don't have anything else. Do you guys have questions yourselves?
I'm still trying to understand the lot. Like I said, I had it in my head that all 8 of them were going to be on that corner lot. So I am having a hard time understanding lot 2.
Okay.
So do we,
Can you walk them through the previous site plan and compare it to the new one?
And then can we also talk about the spaces, like, or the gentleman, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Just the space, as he said, trying to get in and out as well.
So this is the gray shaded area here is their actual home. And this 39-foot here and 35-foot here is the area from behind their house to the edge of the easement that exists currently. The easement is 18 feet wide, so here we have 18 feet in which to back a car, which is the length of a normal parking space, to make a turn and go out, or make a turn and go out here. So they have roughly 39 to 35 feet here to park a car currently. The road's 18 feet wide. The distance from the front yard to Lawrence is 29 feet. So really this distance here of 35 feet approximately is not that much greater than the front of the house to maybe the center line of the road, for instance. And if anyone remembers back 2 years ago or further, this entire area was full. There was like a trailer here of some kind that was existing, and this entire structure here this wasn't like an open space park, if you will. It was
I remember.
a massive park cars and things like that. So
I think the 18-foot easement that was put in when the townhouses were built was adequate to turn the vehicles around. I don't know what if they thought it had to be more than 18 foot at that time, I would imagine they would have did more than 18. I would think that you can turn a car around in 18 feet. I know that in shopping centers we build, we don't have 18 feet. In between white line to white line is what I mean. To back out of your parking spot to go down the aisles and things like that.
I guess it depends on what you're driving, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Or if you had to pull something else in.
Right.
did I answer all your questions, or did you?
So the road is not there currently. That's something that you guys would be putting in?
The road is there.
The road is
We're
there?
gonna make it longer and take it like the church.
From
They're
here.
moving
If you
on.
could go to the old site plan and just show them where.
So
to
that's the, okay, I
And
see.
here, and it was to come out here. There had been like a road here that was just an alley in between the existing.
And that's just all dirt right
It's all
now?
dirt.
Right, okay.
But,
But that's not an easement.
But
This-
their
this
easement
the only
is,
easement
yeah,
that exists.
that's their easement.
That belongs to that
but it
building?
belongs on that property. I mean, it's owned by these gentlemen, and it's an easement for them to access the back of their townhomes.
Okay.
And I did bring that deed with me, and I brought all 5 deeds to the town stating that they have that easement right.
So these townhomes are all privately owned?
Yes.
Okay.
And so what's the width of the side easement?
11 foot.
18 and 11 foot a half.
So currently,
So-
it does not extend to Church Street, but this will take the road all the way through to Church Street.
I did speak with the fire chief. The fire chief did say, he doesn't get into this, he did say that he liked the idea of the 18-foot road continuing to church. They could get apparatus both sides of any homes in there. I did mention to the fire chief, we're adding a fire hydrant as well. The fire chief did tell me that it was not required, that there is currently a fire hydrant within 200 feet of the corner of Church and Lawrence. But we will be adding a fire hydrant as well in the corner of that easement.
Okay.
Used here.
So was there a garage or something back there?
It was a trailer or some kind, there was a structure and the large
It's just
foul
off.
flush trash. People have been dumping there.
So if I'm looking at this one, the 300-foot aerial picture, so is that the road that goes along behind right now? Where is the road?
I think it's this, I don't know if it's
Yeah, that's
like
a,
clearly defined.
Yeah,
That's what I've been looking at too.
I mean, is this it, the road right here? Is that what that is?
So there's the little 11-foot, and then there's a tree over top of it, but that's the 18-foot right of way. And then this is just dirt where people have driven on it, but it's not really a road.
Okay.
But the right of way ends right here.
So these are the.
Does the right of way go up to the fence? Is the fence on the right of, this fence on the corner?
And the fence is
this
behind
the-
these trees?
Is this the right of way?
Or I think it's something in between them, right?
Yeah.
There's some of the fences buried underneath the street.
So her, or whoever's fence that is at the
Where
end,
is
that's this back property line?
Okay, so like right here down the middle,
Okay.
basically?
Correct, yeah, more or less, they're more
Okay.
closer to this side, there's a fence. That's
Gotcha.
all this being 11-foot
And
easement.
then the PIRD is so they can do the lot two, right?
Okay,
No.
but there's not, there is a road, is it an asphalted road?
No, it's just millings and gravel.
Okay, and are you guys gonna asphalt it?
The setback,
The whole project would be asphalt.
right here. So the setback right here is the only place they can't meet the setback.
Oh, so that's why
30
they need the
feet.
PIRD.
It's 30 feet, it's one residential multifamily, and they're going down to, what was it, 18?
18, yeah. Oh my God, I might
But
even
it's
read
30
that.
feet.
I even read that down.
So if we don't grant them the PIRD, they could still put 7 houses without any,
They could put.
or 7?
An apartment building.
But not right behind on lot two, right? They would only be
Well,
able
no,
to do it
he
on
owns
lot
the whole
one.
property.
Yeah.
So he can use the
Right, but
whole,
it
the
probably wouldn't
entire
fit
property
back
is
there,
owned
I guess.
by them, and there's nothing that, he would just have to meet setback requirements.
Right, so if we didn't approve it the way it was, he would still put 7 houses? Or he could
I
still,
would put 12
He
apartment
would put,
buildings.
okay,
but it would have to be, where he would meet the setbacks.
okay.
But it would be one building instead of multiple.
So he could do that, he could just
That's
make
what I'm trying
one
to
building
understand.
smaller too, right? Or one building, could he just move them, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, he can move them around as long as he meets the setbacks.
okay. And it's just at one end,
Yeah, so it's one lot right now. He's asking to make it into 2 lots
oh,
for financing purposes.
Correct.
But then he was able to meet all the setbacks on the 2 individual lots,
okay.
except for that one area, little area on lot 2.
So are we approving the split of the lot? That's why I guess that's where I
The
keep.
concept of it
Okay.
is part of the approval. That's going to be a planning commission decision actually, but the subdivision would be. But we wanted, because it is planned, we wanted it to be through the whole process so everybody understood what was happening.
So we would just be approving the PIRD today for that
The PIRD
additional
and the
building for
concept plan
that
for the 8 houses.
and the concept.
What's the minimum private road width? You have to
This-
be 18 feet. It is, that's in our ordinance now. I forgot to look that up, thank you. So then this meets private road standards as of today.
They'll be doing the maintenance and the snow removal and everything, because
Right.
it's all going to remain private.
And then
water
where,
and sewer.
where are they putting, where's stormwater, how's stormwater being treated
So
on
stormwater
site?
management is not shown on the plan because it's not required as part of a
Concept.
concept review.
Right, okay.
So they have multiple things that they can do as far as non-rooftop disconnect credits, they can do rooftop disconnect credits, they can do microbial
Right, okay.
Just a slew of things that they can apply to this particular site to meet the required ESDB.
Right, okay.
Sorry for all these questions too. So if we were to approve the PIRD, and then you have the concept plan, the concept approval is also, that's us saying you can split this into 2 lots. Is that right?
Correct, as is shown on the plan. You have four houses on one lot and 4 on the other. you're approving the plan that's being shown today, and that includes the PIRD designation, that's their concept approval, and that's why we wanted to show the 2 lots, because that's what the plan was going to be in the future.
Let me ask, with the existing tree line that's just south on lot 2, is that on your property or is that on the neighboring properties?
It's a little to each.
Okay. Now, will those trees be removed or they stay?
No, we'll be adding more trees behind this Mattingly's piece of property to create
Okay.
a more buffer there as well.
Okay.
So all those current trees are staying that we see in the picture? None?
Yes.
No, the ones down this line are not all there.
No, he's saying would they stay?
So the ones that are in the picture now.
They're staying
yeah.
though.
Yes.
The ones
They
on
have
the
to meet a requirement.
I think on that one picture
east,
where
on
the
the
sun.
east side,
Yeah, the aerial shows.
on the
these
east
are
property
staying.
line.
These here.
Yes,
Yeah.
these large trees here.
They all stay?
So they're, okay.
Which on the aerial, you can see right here,
Mhm.
they're on the other property line.
Where's the map? Where's the fence?
This is on the other property.
I feel like I have to go look at this property.
I know, so
I really
wanna
do.
go walk
Like, I'm
it.
starting, especially with the tree comments, keeping all those trees.
And I'm assuming
House
with these leases, you're gonna be doing background checks, W-2s, you're gonna make sure that you have someone financially stable coming in here who can afford this, obviously,
Absolutely.
depending on what you're going to charge.
Absolutely.
Okay. Very good.
I think there's a confusion about, the affordable housing and what that is. What they're saying is they want to, it's not Section 8 housing, they're not saying that. They're saying they want to have something affordable for people who can't afford to buy a $600,000 house. They're not saying that they want to, have affordable housing
Right.
per se.
What we have in mind is the ones on lot 2, we're going to be most than likely asking between $1,800 and $2,000.
Okay.
The ones that will be on lot 1, those houses will be $2,300 to $2,500. They're 3-bedroom. Possibly more being 3-bedroom.
So pretty much market rate of what the apartments are getting downtown.
Right.
Except they'll have individual house with the garage or with a driveway and porch. And yours.
I mean, I think that all sounds good, but the reality is, it could be, you need Section 8, because you need to fill it, or whatever,
We
so.
currently have 7 houses now, I have no Section 8 tenants.
Well, it's a good market for real estate.
I was gonna
For
say, that
rentals.
doesn't offend me. Do you know what the distance is from one of the 2 houses behind the townhouses, like the front of the front of the new house to the back of the townhouse, of the existing
Well, it
townhouse?
would be
Do you know what that?
39, 18, and 10. They have the one measurement from the back of the townhouse to the easement is 39 feet. The road is 18 feet, and then I believe the other house is 10 feet. One
Yeah,
eight.
10 feet from.
67. 67 feet.
Now, if you sold these units, would you sell them as a lot, like you'd sell them as four
If
units?
that was to come, they would have to be sold full and full.
Okay,
I have no intentions of selling these.
Right.
These are to generate positive income for my children.
well, so you're putting them in a separate LLC then?
No, they'll stay in Laurel Grove properties, but, no. They'll go with the rest of the rental houses to them.
Okay.
No intentions of selling.
They couldn't be sold individually.
Right, they'd have to be
unless they were
sold as a
subdivided.
unit
Well,
of,
they'd have to be subdivided again if they were to be sold individually, and they may not. meet
But
the
there's no
criteria.
intentions of that. No.
Yeah.
So you mean if they were sold, they'd have to be sold as a lot? I'm just trying to understand that.
Well, to subdivide an individual house is 10,000 square foot minimum lot, so it's not gonna meet that requirement
okay.
to be subdivided into eight units. So they couldn't be sold separately,
All right.
like it is planned.
right, so it'd have to be sold, well, it looks like we have lot 1 and lot 2, so it'd have to be sold as lot 1, or
Okay, so
lot
we can
2
go
would
back
have
4
to be
houses
sold.
and-
Right. Yeah. There's some existing fencing out there. Are you proposing any additional fencing just for privacy, for?
We will most than likely, I think Valentine owns the one recycling. I'm sure we'll be reaching out to him. We will construct all new fencing.
Okay.
Anything we do, I do know that when the site plan, I think we're some different sidewalk where the road will come out on the church and things like that. Not just building the houses, we're gonna make sure that the site works, especially for stormwater, vegetation, things of that nature.
Okay. Thank you.
Laschelle, I don't want to be the one that holds up anything, and I am all about affordable housing, absolutely, and taking care of our teachers and healthcare workers. What are we, I guess my concern is trying to understand and visibly see how those other houses will fit in that lot two behind those existing townhomes.
And I think
just
that's-
to be fair to the residents right now.
I feel like I want to walk it.
Yeah,
I mean, you can delay the decision, that's one of your options.
that's what I was trying to ask.
I think, you can't get it to move, the.
Yeah, I can't get
Oh.
to maybe even new batteries. I
Oh.
don't know what the deal is.
Oh, no, poor Tiger.
Well, if you look at, I think that's why they did the 3D models, to help visualize.
The homes are beautiful.
In the, so these 3D models were to help visualize more.
Okay, but none of these trees are coming down, so these houses
No
are gonna
trees come
fit
down.
into these little spots? That's what I'm saying, I can't envision that at all. Like those.
I'm assuming you have to do some trimming. Some of the branches might have to be trimmed off. Yeah, okay.
I really, honestly, the stuff of the tree.
I mean, there's
down on
10,
my lot.
there's setback, what is the setback on the back there, 10 feet?
property line to the.
There's 10 feet to the property line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they won't have any
Those
backyard.
tiny look at plants all day.
They'll have
It's hard,
10.
it's hard to.
These houses will have
It is.
10
There's
feet?
a
10
10-foot setback
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a 10.
to the property line.
It's a 10-foot.
If you look at the
So in
site
this
plan, there's
case,
10
let's
feet
see.
from the property line to the back of the
That
house.
are there right now?
Yeah, that's,
These are the existing
That's
ones,
this
right?
line
This is
right
the
here.
property where they're gonna develop it. So with this, all of this, they're gonna be little, those tiny little houses are gonna fit in there?
It's very tight, but it fits.
I mean, the plan is a scaled plan,
Yeah.
so they, the engineering
Yeah.
has been done it, so.
Good point.
I mean, it's hard
With
to,
the
yeah,
expectation that they're gonna be, smaller rentable homes.
yeah.
I know you have nothing but positive intent. For me, I just feel to be fair to the residents. I'm more of a visual, so, and walking the property, I think.
So everybody wants to kind of go out there and see exactly what it's.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be in
So-
favor, just kind of holding off,
I
just
would
for the
like
moment.
to,
That's not
yeah.
necessarily
Yeah.
a disapproval, but at least I want to kind of see the property and see exactly how close these homes are going to be before we make a decision.
If you prefer that, I have my surveyor put stakes.
That would be
That would
nice.
be lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
if you don't mind
I
doing
think I
that.
can do that.
For me, that you've already taken down those other apartments, I mean, I used to see all kinds of sketchy things happening there, so I know that's not what you want to see come back. So.
yeah, I think maybe if you're willing to stake stuff, just do 4 squares on those 2 houses that are behind the townhouses, I think
Okay.
would probably, at least, unless anybody else agrees, I think that'd probably be enough to see kind of what we're
Those are the two
Please,
that
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
of concern, yeah.
So when would this come back to us? Next month? How would we do that?
Yeah,
If we can
would
fit
do
it in
that.
by the next meeting, I'll make myself available.
Yeah, it would be on the next agenda.
I'm sorry,
okay.
Laschelle.
No, it's fine.
We'll set up a time where we can
Yeah.
go out
sounds
there.
good.
Walk the property in.
Well, and I did. I mean, I went out there and walked it, and I was like, I can't figure out how these 8 houses are gonna fit here. Now I understand, but now I've looked at it completely wrong.
So
So
we all meet out there once, or?
if we do, it has to be an official
Public meeting,
town
Yeah.
wouldn't have to
function, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can advertise it. We could do it at
Well-
our next workshop or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe the part of the workshop, that's a good idea.
We'd have to do it early though, because it gets dark.
Mm.
Like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's getting dark earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can work with you to figure
Yeah.
out a time.
It's you guys. Convenient.
Yeah, we'll work out a time to.
I
Get
think
your
the
everyone out
houses
there.
are beautiful, and I really like the idea of there being 8 instead of 12 families moving in there. But I do want to make sure that it's going to fit appropriately.
Okay.
So I appreciate it.
To need a motion to delay.
And we care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we delay making a decision for the PIRD overlay and concept plan approval for case number 7121 Leonardtown Cottages located at 22800 Lawrence Avenue until the town council can, what do I want to say, walk the lot, examine the property.
I'll second. Give it to Mary.
Thanks. Every time.
You're awesome. Thank you, Nick.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
I have a clarification question. For this walk the lot that you will be doing, will the public be allowed to, like at least the residents of that neighborhood be allowed to walk with you?
If we're all together,
Yep.
then it's a public meeting,
Yep.
so yes, then you are permitted.
Okay.
So say, yeah,
If-
we're all
if-
there together, so.
If we go by ourselves, I mean, you're welcome to come out. I have a little one-eyed dog. She's very nice, but you're welcome
Super
to.
cute.
I have a dog, you can have your dog, the greatest dog in the world. They'll be your best friend.
I'll bring my dog, he's horrible. No manners.
We'll notify, especially the townhome people, since we'll be right behind you.
Yeah.
We'll notify you what our schedule is.
I would appreciate that. Yeah.
So all of a sudden, we'll just show up in your backyard.
Well, we've had a lot of people do that.
It'll be in my yard.
Yes.
Your yard, yeah.
Well, if you see me out there with a little Boston Terrier, don't call the police. That's me, please. Then I'd have to call my husband. That would be really bad. I'd never call him. Never. Throw me in jail.
Okay, thank you very much. Laschelle, anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Okay.
I have a question, Dan, sorry. I'd love to revisit at some point the issues they say they have with the stop signs, people running the stop signs.
Me too.
But maybe later. There's
I'll-
probably not
I
much
mean,
we can do. but-
Yeah,
I
Rachael,
don't know.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think you sit back there periodically. I mean, we have the flashing light, we have the stop
Yeah.
signs, and people still.
Yeah.
No, I just saw
If we
something
had,
that
like,
Trump
those
the
bricks
weekend.
or something.
Lawrence Avenue is the driveway of Leonardtown.
It really is.
A what?
It's the driveway of
Oh.
Leonardtown. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah,
I've
I
been walking
grew
my
up on
dog,
Lawrence Avenue, it's
and
been like
I
that
think
forever.
wherever that blinking light is between Leonard and our church and both, our church and Lawrence, legit had almost been ran over 3 separate times with my dog because people do not stop at that stop sign or in any direction. I've seen a school bus, run that stop sign to the point with children on it, run the stop sign, and then another car had to slam on its brakes to not hit a school bus full of children.
Wow.
Now, I'll address those issues.
Then
Yeah, I was
Thank
gonna
you,
say,
Rachel.
Rachel, could you kind of look at that? Thank you. Okay. Going on to my report, how about the LBA? Anything from the LBA?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Just a lot of stuff going on, so I'll go ahead and move on here. Events, Heather Earhart.
Yeah, and I know we've had a busy October. I loved all of the scarecrows. They were amazing. My neighborhoods didn't win, but it was thrown together last night. That's fine. I did also really want to recognize everybody who supported the Veterans Day Parade this weekend. Wow, what an event again. You guys just do an amazing job. I know all the staff worked really hard. Our first responders, our police officers, all of you, just an incredible job, always. I also wanted to point out Aces Angels. I was able to support their event last month. It was a breast cancer awareness walk and just an incredible event. I was super surprised of how many people. There were over, I think, 250 participants. Just a really good organization to support, and I was really honored to be a part of that. So I know over the next month we've got a couple holidays coming up. So we have Hanukkah and Christmas. We have Christmas on the Square on November 24th, so I'm looking forward to that, and I hope other folks will be coming out. Yeah, Small Business Saturday. Don't forget our small businesses. I'll definitely be out there shopping. And then I know that they've already started with the lights around Leonardtown. So super excited to see that. And what's the deal? There's some hidden nuggets. There's like little hidden things. Is that what we talked about?
I don't know.
All right.
Hidden for me too.
Anyway, so hopefully everybody will come out and support.
Light up Leonardtown.
Light up Leonardtown.
What is that when is that gonna be first
So
lit?
the lights will be turned on Christmas Eve, Christmas on the square.
Right,
And they'll
okay.
stay on through
I think that's
until
what it was when
Christmas.
people were asking.
It's gonna be at the wharf, it'll be the alley. Most of the businesses that are participating in the square with the rooftops.
Mhm.
And it'll look
I already love, like, I
Awesome.
saw the archway.
in the alley, yeah.
It's gonna be so great.
It
so.
is gonna be
Yeah.
beautiful.
But again, yeah, thank you for the Veterans Day Parade. I was really honored to participate. So.
Always a great event. So.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, Community Development and Planning.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Don't really have much to report. Like Heather said, able to attend the Veterans Day Parade. It was a great time. Beautiful weather. Thankfully, it didn't rain, so that was a plus.
Yeah, better than
And then otherwise, yeah, next week is Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hopefully, everyone can take some time to spend with their families and friends, and hopefully get some time off work. But for those who don't, thank you, to police, fire, EMS, all our nurses, doctors. Thank you all for all your hard work. But that's everything from me.
Okay,
Thank you.
Utilities, Christy.
Thank you, Mayor. Don't have a whole lot other than I did chat with the guys down at the treatment plant. I hear the treatment plant upgrade's going all right, so I'm excited to get that done.
I think they're starting next week, actually. We'll be putting out a notice, actually the week Monday after Thanksgiving, they'll be starting to drive piles again, but this time for the storage tanks.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just saying we
Is
didn't
that,
hear
yeah,
a whole
we
lot,
haven't
so.
even heard any noises.
Yeah,
has
it really wasn't loud, so,
Yeah,
but I'd just like to notify people
Oh,
if they
for
do
sure.
hear something. So hopefully it won't be for the storage tanks either, but I think when they start doing there's one area that they said it's gonna be probably louder.
Yeah.
but,
Great.
The sheet piling when they drive that.
Yeah.
We did holler at them while we were walking
Yeah.
up the hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, we
To ask them how it was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It's going
gave
very
us a
good.
thumbs up, so that's great to
Yeah.
hear, because that's a big project. It's always
It is. It's good.
hard
It's
to
really
run a
ramped
plant
up.
and construct
Mhm.
one at the same time.
It's
It's
really ramped up the last month or so.
Yeah.
All the utilities got moved. It's been a lot of coordination the
Yeah.
last month or so.
Yeah, so kudos to the guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're working their
They are.
bottoms off getting all that done, so. And then just want to echo happy Thanksgiving. Can't believe it's Thanksgiving time. It's crazy.
Hello, give us
Gobble, gobble.
Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
one great big holiday.
Okay, Jay, Southern Maryland Municipal Association.
All right, Mayor, thank you. So I did attend the fall conference at College Park. We had a good turnout. It was 393 that registered and attended, so that was one of the largest. And Heather, did you get all your classes done? Not yet? Close.
I'm almost done. I'll be done
Okay.
in the summer. So yeah,
Excellent.
I knocked out almost like all I could during it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So we also had our, Terry's confirmed, we had our meeting there, SMMA meeting there, and I think our next one's going to be in January. Our next board meeting is scheduled for January as well. That's going to be virtual. And I'm looking forward to Christmas on the Square. Veterans Day was a huge success. I'm glad it did not rain. And to everyone, happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you, everyone, Christmas on the Square. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mary, Business Development and Retention.
Yeah, so thank you, Mayor. Last week I attended the ribbon cutting for the new business at the Bank of America. And if you actually look at page 3 of our magazine, look at all the new businesses we have in Leonardtown. It's fantastic when you think about, just even a year from now or a year ago. And I was listening to News 4 this morning, and they said 53% of people prefer to shop at small businesses because of the unique products and the good customer service. So again, Small Business Saturday is going to be, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Please come out to Leonardtown. It's going to be fantastic. On the Maryland side, IRS did, on the tax side, the IRS went and did some new reporting for the way they report things to the states, and all of a sudden in October, everybody got a letter from the state of Maryland saying that they owed more money. I got about 20 of them people that actually brought their letters in. I called the state of Maryland. I said, what is this about? It was all reported correctly to begin with. And they said, we don't really know. And I said, okay, that's good. So I'm in the middle of working on it to figure out what to do about it. Probably nothing, because nothing was reported wrong. But just to let people know, because there were probably a lot of people out there that just went ahead and they were like, oh, I owe $200. I'll just write the check and pay it. And so that is not the issue. Something happened with their reporting. And then I wanted to just let you know about a hearing. I just attended a hearing. I represented a client with the state of Maryland. And they've been denying my client their tax refunds for the past 7 years. And so finally I went ahead and filed an appeal. And I called, I'm sitting there with virtually, but I'm with the judge. And I said, why are you denying this? And she said, we can't confirm their income. I said, their income is from the state of Maryland. I have the paperwork from the state of Maryland. And she said, well, maybe he made it up. And I was like, how could, I had the paperwork, the information came from Maryland. So I think I won the appeal. I think we're still, we're still waiting to hear back, but I had all the right information. But that's what we're dealing with, So you have to remember the right hand does not know what the left hand is doing when it's coming to different things. So this is something that just because Maryland says, oh, we're not going to give you your refund, that doesn't mean you don't deserve it, and there may be a reason. So that's what I have.
Okay.
There's also another ribbon cutting on December 1st for the bridal shop in the Bank of America building.
Fantastic.
I have to get a time on that, I'm not sure. I'll send something out.
How did the other one go on Friday?
It was very
I
well
had to
attended.
clean my house.
It was very well attended, yeah. It's beautiful, too, what they've done in there.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that was really shocking.
Yeah, they fit a lot into that little tiny store.
That's great.
One of my employees knows the owner. I found that out.
Yeah, she was there.
Katie was there.
Okay, there's nothing else. Anybody else have anything to say? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
I gotta go make some green beans.
Yeah, I had to text my mom halfway through. I was like, someone's got to go pick Pink up.
Yeah.
I thought I'd be out by now, but